So the best boxing card of all time took place last night, and this is my reaction to the entire card. So starting off with the main event, we have Beterbiev versus Bivol 2, where Bivol did get his hand raised by decision. He is now the undisputed light heavyweight champion. What a fight. I mean, both fights that these two guys have been really entertaining. I'm looking forward to seeing the trilogy because I do believe that is the route that Saudi Arabia, Turkey Al Sheikh, whatever you want to call it, Riyadh season are going to go, and I think it is only right. Both guys are 1-1 now. I would love to see David Benavidez first, either one of them, because he's coming off that big win over Morel, and he is the next contender to fight for one of the belts. Might be the WBC one, I'm not too sure though. But this trilogy does need to happen. Now, this fight kind of played out how I thought it was going to. If you watch my predictions video, I did pick Bivol to win the rematch purely because I thought he would have made the correct adjustments, and the big one being let his hands go more, and that is what Bivol done last night. Now, I didn't check the stats, so maybe that might be wrong. Maybe he just landed the better shots last night than what he done in the first fight, but from watching it, in my opinion anyway, it did look like Bivol did let his hands go more. And the thing with Bivol is he isn't a big puncher, but you could see that his punches were starting to have an effect on Beterbiev because they were really damaging his face, bruising him up, grazing his forehead and stuff. But Beterbiev is literally like the Terminator. This guy does not stop walking forward. No matter what you hit this guy with, Beterbiev is constantly on the front foot. Now, Bivol did start off the fight really well, in my opinion. I had him winning the first 2 rounds. Then Beterbiev started to just pile on the pressure, and it felt like Bivol just shelled up and stopped throwing, if that makes sense. It kind of felt like he was letting the fight slip away, especially in the mid part. But in the later half of the fight, where Beterbiev last time round really came on strong, that is when Bivol really came on strong, in my opinion. Now, round 12, Beterbiev did win, in my opinion. I thought he'd done the better work, but overall, Bivol definitely deserved to have his hand raised this time. I know there was a lot of controversy on the first fight. I thought the right man won first time round as well in Beterbiev. It was close, same this time round, another really close fight, but Bivol definitely deserved to have his hand raised after that matchup there. Like I said, I cannot wait for the trilogy. It is going to be a real fun one. I don't know when they're going to do it, and hopefully the government bodies don't ruin this, because we've seen it before where they take titles off certain fighters. I know they've already had one undisputed fight, and then they kind of put the mandatories out of the way for this rematch to happen. Have to do the same again for this trilogy, because these are quite easily right now the 2 best light heavyweight fighters in the sport of boxing. They need to finish off this trilogy. It has to happen. I'm going to pick Bivol to win the trilogy as well. I think he's going to be even better this time round. And let's not forget, Beterbiev, this guy's 40 years of age. Doesn't look it like with the way he fights, but the guy is getting up there in age now. He has been very injury prone throughout his career. I think Bivol has kind of figured out the puzzle that is Beterbiev's style and how to win, and I think we're going to see an even better performance out of Bivol third time round. Great performance. Moving on to the next one, we've got the co-main event. We've got Joseph Parker versus Martin McCauley. Now, this fight right here was absolutely insane. I mean, I did not see this happening. Now, I did say Joseph Parker would have beat Martin McCauley. There was a couple of reasons as to why I was really confident in that pick. Number one being, Joseph Parker is in the form of his life. The guy's coming off 2 big wins over Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder. I know Deontay Wilder hasn't looked amazing since the Tyson Fury trilogy, but Deontay Wilder's Deontay Wilder. The guy has so many title defenses of that WBC title. The guy is a great win to have on your resume. Look at what he was doing to people. Look at the wars he had with Tyson Fury. And Joseph Parker beat him comfortably. In the Zhilei Zhang matchup, he came under a bit of adversity. He was dropped twice in there, but did deserve to get his hand raised. And then he was waiting for that Daniel Dubois matchup. Obviously, Dubois had to pull out due to an illness. That's why he didn't fight. And Martin McCauley, fair play to the guy. He flew from the Congo, took this fight on like 2 days' notice, came to Saudi Arabia, showed up 310 pounds or something, and got in there and had a go. Look, Martin McCauley, this loss is going to be very damaging to the guy's brand, just because of the way they were building Martin McCauley. Personally, I've always thought Martin McCauley was slightly overrated. Now, his performance against Jared Anderson, great performance. Obviously, that is like a standout performance. He's beat the likes of Carlos Takam as well. But the Jared Anderson win, that's the one that really stands out, that people always go on about. Like, they were referring him to like George Foreman. He's the boogeyman in the division. Nobody wants to fight him. And then Joseph Parker slumps him inside 2 rounds. It's really damaging for the guy's brand, in my opinion. And I think we're going to see Martin McCauley in there. I don't even think anybody was really that scared to fight Martin McCauley. The guy has got a bit of a name value now, but yeah, this is going to tank his aura, if you want to call it that. Yeah, seeing him just get hit in the top of the head, do the chicken legs, and then fall over. Bit of an early stoppage, I thought. I mean, obviously the referee called it, and his corner pulled him out of there, so they obviously know Bacoli more than flipping I do, but just from watching it, I thought he got right back up there. It was clear that he was visibly hurt. He was hit round the top of the head. Joseph Parker, I was actually worried about Joseph Parker. I thought he had a really good first round, and then in the second round when he started to get really up close with Martin Bacoli, and it looked like Joseph Parker was going to look to try and just trade with Bacoli, that there was where I was like, this is not going to end well. But Joseph Parker looked great in there. He landed that perfect overhand right, caught Bacoli on the top of the head, sat him down. Great win. What's next for Martin Bacoli? Do you do the fight against Ajagba that he was meant to have? I'm not too sure. What's next for Joseph Parker? Again, I'm going to make a video on matchups that I want to see next, so make sure you stay tuned for that video. That should be out later on or tomorrow, don't know. Moving on, we have got this fight right here between Shakur Stevenson and Josh Padley. Fair play to Josh Padley. Again, this guy's an electrician. He's not a full-time boxer, and he came over on 4 days notice to fight for the WBC lightweight title against Shakur Stevenson. And Josh Padley, he did get stopped in there, yes, but he had a good account of himself. You know, there were moments he was letting his hands go on Shakur Stevenson, but like I said in my predictions, Shakur Stevenson is just levels above what Josh Padley is. Look, I don't know why I just found Shakur Stevenson just really annoying after the way he was carrying on after this fight. Obviously, that is good because that creates buzz and makes people want to see him. Like, I want to see him get flatlined by Gervonta Davis. That's what I want to see. I want to see Shakur Stevenson get flatline KO'd by Gervonta Davis. I don't know why. I do know why, because of the way he carried on over this performance, but Shakur Stevenson looked good. He just showed he was levels above him. He needed a stoppage in there. Obviously, a lot of people were questioning his punch power. Josh Padley has a great chin. The body shots is what really done it for him. Again, hopefully Josh Padley now has got enough money that he can focus full time, because the guy is coming off before this fight a big win over, is it Mark Chamberlain, I believe? I was there, I should remember this, in Wembley. So the guy's been on some big cards, and it's clear that Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season obviously like him to offer him this matchup against Shakur Stevenson. What's next for Shakur? I think they are going to do the matchup against Zepeda, I think. But I would love to see him in there against Gervonta Davis. That would be the fight that I would make. Next up, moving on, we have got this one right here.
Bruh.
Now, Hamza Shiraz started the fight off really, really well. I thought Carlos Adamas was really hard done by here. I thought he nicked it by a couple of rounds. I thought Hamza Shiraz did let the fight go as the fight got on. A draw for me, it's just boxing being boxing, in my opinion. Like, when are we ever going to get the sport just cleansed from just shite judges' scorecards? Like, it just wasn't a draw. Hamza Shiraz himself, I think, if he was being honest, he would admit that he lost that bad. It wasn't as if he got completely schooled in there. He lost by a couple of rounds. And Carlos Adamas is a great fighter. I don't think a lot of people were paying him, giving him the respect that he needed going into this matchup. I know for one, I picked Hamza Shiraz to win, and I thought I was spot on with how Hamza was looking early on. They have to do the rematch next. That is what has to happen. I think Carlos Adamas has been really hard done by here. I think there was a bit of biased scoring going on. I thought Hamza Shiraz did look really good in the opening rounds. I think he said he had some hand injuries going into this, so that might play a part into why the activity started to slow down from him. But nonetheless, the rematch needs to happen. I thought Adamas won. Wasn't a draw. I know we're going to see the rematch. Moving on, we've got this one right here. I thought this fight was off for some reason because of what I was reading online, but Israel Madrimov versus Virgil Ortiz. Ortiz beat Madrimov up more than what Terence Crawford did. That's a fact. Virgil Ortiz had that really high guard that Israel Madrimov just could not. Well, he started to have more success later on in the fight. I thought he was very lucky not to have points taken off him because the referee warned him about 50,000 times. There were still no points taken off him with using his head. But if Israel Madrimov had done what he done in the later stages of the fight from the very beginning, it could have been a different fight. But Virgil Ortiz wasn't biting on the feints, had the hands high. He is fast. The way he lets them shots go, he is fast. I'd love to see him against Boots Ennis. Don't know if that is going to happen though. Obviously, Boots is in there against Stanionis. I don't know when that fight's meant to take place, but that's a unification bout. But Virgil Ortiz looked good in there. Really, really good. I thought Madrimov was going to win this. But yeah, Virgil Ortiz shut him out, won that one pretty comfortably. Moving on, we've got this one right here. What a fight this was. What a photo this is here of Zhilei Zhang. Look, I didn't think Kabayel was getting the respect that he deserved going into this matchup. I did pick Zhilei Zhang to win. I had a horrible night on predictions here, to be honest. But Kabayel, just I did talk about this in my predictions. The bodywork from the guy, excellent bodywork in there. Zhilei Zhang doesn't have a particularly good gas tank. He never has. I thought early on Zhilei Zhang was doing a good job of kind of just walking Kabayel around the ring, cutting it off a bit, but couldn't really get anything off. And Kabayel's bodywork, that's really what done it for him. He beat the fight out of Zhilei Zhang with a bodywork. It was really, really nice to watch. He did get put down, Kabayel. He got right back up, kind of like a flash knockdown type thing. And he kind of just overwhelms Zhilei Zhang. What's next for Kabayel? Find out. I'm going to have to make a video talking about this. What's next for Zhilei Zhang? I'm really unsure, to be honest. I mean, this guy's really old now. I think he's into his 40s. He is coming off he's coming off a loss now to Kabayel, but before that he was coming off a nice win over Deontay Wilder. I mean, I understand why these guys are going to want to stay in the sport now for even longer, because I'm sure Zhilei Zhang is getting a nice pay packet from Saudi Arabia. There are matchups that he could be in next, but I don't know, at the age he is, I don't know. But again, maybe now he's only making the type of money that can kind of set him up, if you know what I mean. And finally, moving on, we have got Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi. What a fucking fight this was. This was awesome. Joshua Buatsi, tough as they come. So was Callum Smith. I thought Callum Smith started off the fight really, really well. I thought Buatsi did come on strong at certain points in the later half of the fight. I thought Joshua Buatsi should have continued to target the body of Callum Smith. It was clear near the end of the fight that he was hurting Callum Smith to the body, in my opinion anyway, but just didn't follow up on it. I mean, it was an absolute war. Both guys were gassed. The scorecards again, it's a shame because that scorecard is going to be the big talking point of this matchup when it shouldn't be. It should be the fight, the performance that both guys put on, how good Callum Smith looked. Again, I picked Joshua Buatsi to win this fight. Obviously coming off the win over Willie Hutchinson, and Callum Smith coming off that loss to Beterbiev. Then he had a wee run out, so it was hard to kind of gauge how good he was. He looked excellent in there. I'd love to see a rematch. I don't know if they will do one though, but I would love to see a rematch of this fight. Overall, this is easily the best boxing card of all time. Every fight was entertaining. Loved it all. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.